So we should be live streaming in just a moment. And I think we are now. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, traders from across the globe. Thank you for tuning in. Boy, what a day. So I don't know how much time I'm going to spend with you today, but I am going to show you some cool stuff. Let me do this. Let me open up the chat in case the YouTubers want to chat with me. I'll put that over here. Control plus it a little bit. So, we have had quite the day in the U.S. indices, huh? I'll show you the how big the daily bar is, but it's big. So we are looking at some really big movement today. But before we look at that movement, let's do a quick look at this chart. In fact, not here. Let's start here. Traders, look, the 200 bar weekly, well, the E-mini S&P weekly bar and the 200 bar moving average. That has been our challenge, right? We keep saying do or die week 1, week 2. Well, we finally got to a spot where it went through it and came back up. Now, if you look back here, that's what happened last time, and once it did, major rally. And if we look further back, the last time we hit, major rally. And if you go back even further, the last time we just about hit, a major rally ensued. So what should we expect now that we hit this 200 bar moving average and got back above it? At first you would think, well, I guess it's going to hold. The proof is in the pudding. Now we have this big rally. There's a difference though, kids. You know what the difference is? Back here, when it held, when it even tried to get close, when it held here, and when it held here, the Fed was lowering interest rates. We finally got back to that 200 bar moving average, but in this case, for the first time in years, the Fed is raising interest rates. I don't think we are going to stay above this average. Yes, now that it bounced, you could get a bounce from it, and maybe it'll bounce and go like this all the way up here at some point. But I think in the end, we end up down here. It just doesn't make sense when they're raising rates that we hold this 200 bar. That it made sense when they were lowering rates when we tested it and held each time, even though you broke it here during COVID, that you can understand. But each other time, don't forget, we were lowering rates, which is supposed to buoy the market. Now we're in raise rate mode, and I do not think this little pop above the 200 will last. Now, of course, what I think doesn't matter, and we will trade whatever happens out there. I just wanted to show that to you. Now, on another note, the S&P, it should be here. Look at the size of this outside day reversal bar. Oh, it's Nasdaq, not S&P. Outside reversal bar. What makes it an outside reversal? Well, can't really call it an outside reversal yet till it closes today, but it got lower than yesterday's low, right? Yesterday's low is represented by the blue line. It went all the way down here. Then it went higher than yesterday's high, making it an outside day. Now, depending upon where it settles, it could be an outside reversal day. If it settles above this bar, that makes it not just an outside day, but an outside reversal day. But the F flag did work, and in S&P, we captured 110 points on the down move today. Thank you, OMNI. Wha-bam, and we got out right here, right near the low. We got short, it cracked, we got out, and thank you, OMNI, for giving us that great trade. Now, of course, major report came out, and it went back up, but we don't care. We took advantage of the movement, and we did our jobs for the day. So I wanted to show you that and just remind you that as nice as this looks, while we're in raised rate mode, I don't know that it's going to stay. Now, let me see if there's been any chatting since then. All right. Hi, Tom Redman. The S&P hit the 50% Fibonacci retracement level on the monthly. Interesting. Nasdaq hit the 61.8 on the monthly. That's interesting as well. Now, I'm sure algorithms, some might actually have that in there. So I wanted to make sure that you've seen that, and we'll find out what the Omni wants us to do this evening, and we'll, like I mentioned in last night's video, report or no report, I am just going to take the Omni trade, because if I start deciphering when Omni's going to be right or wrong, none of us have a system anymore, right? Oscar just blew up that system because now he thinks he can outsmart it, so I don't. And yes, was I worried that we all got short this morning? Yeah, but the Omni said that we can do that and get out, which we did, and that was that. So, have to follow the system. In fact, I think that could have been the name of my video last night. So whatever Omni says to do this evening, it's what we'll do once again. But yeah, what a roller coaster ride. And this morning, you know, I always write my trades. Every bit of my trading plan is written every single day. Where I'm going to buy, where I'm going to sell, where I'm going to stop myself out, profit objectives, the whole 9 yards. I underline the stuff that's important. When we got short like up here where we were supposed to, 36.24. And the last profit objective I had written down today is kind of where we bailed out. Am I looking at the right paper? What's today's date? This is the wrong paper. I'm looking at the trade and I'm going, that's not right. Yeah, this is not 1013. That's probably in my back pocket. There we go. Here's today's analysis. This time, we got in basically around the same spot anyway, 36.23.24. I wanted to start getting in around 14.15 and then add at 36.23.24. We did that, and look at my last profit objective this morning. It was 35.18. We broke 35.18, and when we hit 35.10, I said, that is that. Get out. I don't even have any more profit objectives written. I've got nothing else underneath. So we bailed out at around 35.11, 35.10, somewhere around there. So, yeah, I always write my stuff down. This way I can follow it, and I keep it in my back pocket, so I don't lose it. Although I don't need to today, we're finished. We're done trading. So, for you traders on YouTube that you might not know this, I actually send these signals out to people. So here, I'll see if I can show you. These signals go out as we're going to trade. I let people know. So let me make this a little larger. I'll see if I can point out what's going on here. Let me click in so we're logged in. So what happens is if I'm going to trade, I send something like this. You receive instruction with a loud bell. Of course, you can turn it off. You can even make it read it to you. Listen to this.
Flash update ZWZ19. This is a sample flash pop and not a real trading recommendation.
Pretty cool, right? It'll just read it to you. So at the same time, I send you out a flash pop-up, and I send it to the site itself. So the site gets the recommendation. So last night, before the right side populated, I basically said the Omni remains red for trading ES on Wednesday night through Thursday. I do not shy away from most government reports. Reports get Omniac's great fills. Just place your orders. And then I show a little chart underneath of what I'm looking at. Happened to be last night, the Oscarism known as the F flag. And then once the market starts moving, this side will populate with these things that pop up. Boom, boom, boom. We hear all that noise. you look and see what it is, and basically it's written here. Plus, it was sent out in a Discord channel, and I send out an email and a text all at the same time. So, you know, you're getting the recommendations in many places. So then it says, much like when this is the first flash update for the day, right? So it tells you the time, the date, which flash update's actually the second one. The first one was my video. First flash update, I sent out the video. And the next flash update says, you know, it's usually a note what I want you to do. In this case, OMNIX, where the last price is $35.92, much like Wednesday. The ES trade scenario has a caveat shorting level. We want to sell it at 36.23 to 25. Caveat would be 36.12 to 14. No matter what price you are filled at, place your stops above 36.60. We will aggressively lower those as the market allows. The next flash comes out. And this one's basically in a real, I'm typing at the speed of sound on this one. OMNIX are short at 36.12 and 14, and then once again at 36.24 to 26. Out. Last price is 35.10. Today happens to be a winning trade. They're not always winners, but that's a beautiful one. So that's how I send out the flash updates, and traders will use those to get in and out of the market. And then, of course, come hang out with me in this trading room. I do a video at night to tell you what I'd like to do. I send out my flash updates all day to show you what to do. And then I do another video at night. We start all over again, hanging out in this live trading room. Do I reverse positions? Generally, no. No, Omni usually gets us in, gets us out, and then I sidestep. Can I reverse positions? There is a day like today I could, let's say we got in today, we were wrong and got stopped out, and then the market goes so far past our stop, it's in a whole new realm. Yes, on that day, if I want, I can reverse the crowd. But I rarely reverse, you know what I mean? We're right or wrong, and then I don't start chasing bad money, and we don't throw good money after bad. And I don't say, today we got short and we were wrong, but I know I'm right and the market's wrong, so let's short it again. None of that ever happens here. You know what I mean? Wrong? That's wrong. We don't fight with wrong. We just let the stop get hit and we're finished. Right? You know, right is good too. We take advantage of right more than we do wrong here. Omni's been pretty good at direction and where to get in and where to get out. Last week, not so good because the fills I received were bad trades, and the fills we didn't get were the best trades of the week, but we missed getting in by inches. So last week, not such a good week. This week, we kind of beat the crap out of the markets this week. It took a little warming up, and then boom, 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 it just happened. Thank you, Omni, once again. Me, I am just playing Omni Messenger Boy, so I don't have a crystal ball. Well, I kind of do. Where is it? Oh, I moved it. I kind of do have one, but I don't use it to call the markets. When people want to know, here's a question. I was just going to tell you about it. How do I call the markets? So in the YouTube chat room, Auronum says, Oscar, where do you see gold going? So, you know, I talk about the Omni and we're going to do the analysis and Omni Arrow, but really I'm just one of those internet scammers. I don't really have an Omni. I've got this. And just flip this coin. Where's gold going? I go like this. Oh, hey, gold's going down today is basically how we do the Omni here. You might think I'm good at this, but it's just flipping coins. Buy, sell. Come on now. I've got everything I need. So what do I think? I think that is... Keep your eye on the dollar as far as gold. If the dollar goes up, gold is not going to. It just can't. I think we have a gold chart right here. So if the dollar continues to go up the way it has been, gold has to continue doing what it does, which basically its MO is fill at the 50-bar moving average, and that's that, right? Look at how perfect of a piece of analysis that is. If you closed your eyes and waited for gold to get to the 50 and sold it, you haven't had a losing trade except for a bumpy road right here in a year, well, 9 months. So that's basically your trade or your play in gold until something changes. So what could change? You know what could change? You get this. You get something like this. You get through the average. You get a pullback to the average. You hold that average and go. Something has changed. You know what I mean? Then you can go, okay, we are out of that sell the 50 bar mode. Barring that, you got to sell the rallies in gold. The dollar is just too strong. And they're not done raising rates, which means the dollar is probably not done going up. So you've got that factor. Gold is priced in dollars. Dollars going up. So fundamentally, down, down, down. Technically, you can see what to do. We've already talked about that. And look at this crazy channel it's been in. That's probably not it. Let's go see what kind of channel this actually is, because I don't like the way that looks. So let's start up here and see what kind of channel this is. Yeah, it's more like that if you ask me. And I think that's its fate for now, at least from what I can see. Alright, so you go away, and let's see what we can bring back up. We need this, and this. Wow, back to 67. It's only down 20. The S&P is down 20 points from its high, but it's up almost 200 from its low. Not quite, but almost there. Young, the report was 8.2 versus 8.1. So it's 8.2 actual versus 8.1 expected. All right, so market's pulling back just a little bit at the moment. Yeah, well, Jerome called me to tell me to get out. You know what? He got Martha Stewart on the phone, and then she paged me in, and Jerome told us both to get out down there at the Lowe's. I won't get in any trouble. Hey, what's the worst that could happen? I end up doing a show with Snoop Dogg? You could get Snoop. How could you get Snoop? You know him? I have a friend that caters his parties when he does his backyard parties. That's about as close as I could get. Oh, you book artists, Young? Oh, interesting. I cannot wait for you to come to Vegas. I've got some artists for you to book. You don't know about it, but I can sing. Whoa! I want you to book me somewhere. Get me next to Andrea Bocelli, please. Did you like that, by the way? My little concert? Move over, Andre. Oscar's in town. Speaking of which, thank you to an OMNIac that came out to OMNI Camp several years ago. Called me up and said, Oscar, your daughter is phenomenal, and I'm in a choir, and that choir is the Las Vegas Society Choir, and guess what? They back up Andrea Bocelli on December 3rd. They are his choir for his concert. And if she makes the cut, she'll be standing behind Andrea Bocelli on December 3rd. So yeah, you better believe we immediately injected her into that into that choir. It's interesting what the choir is it's all right. So take Mozart, something that Mozart has written. They take his music, which would be the piano playing, and they've got all the parts of the choir broken up to alto, tenor, you name it. Everyone's sitting where they're supposed to be. The bass over here, the high end over there, and their voices become the human piano. It is the coolest thing I ever seen. It's not church choir at all. It's different. It's musical choir. Really cool. Am I still a bull on oil? You know, the problem with oil is we have a cartel, right? You've got this triangle. You got OPEC at the top of the triangle, and they just cut back 2 million barrels a day. And people are going, oh, how dare they? How dare you, OPEC? And you've got Putin over here on this side, right? This is the Putin side. This is the OPEC in the middle. Well, over here you got Biden. He's the third part of this triangle. We have a cartel. The three of these people hate crude oil, and they are driving inflation through the roof. Now, you think taking away 2 million barrels a day means a lot. The United States, as part of the cartel, we took away all the million barrels a day, right? We didn't say we're cutting back some. Our president went, that's it, we're cutting it all back. We are the worst of this cartel, I kid you not. I mean, it's our president, so we're all part of it. If you're going to look at separate countries, you can't get mad at OPEC for 2 million barrel cutback when we cut back all of it. So, you know what I'm saying? We got, what's going to happen with oil? Right now, while we have this cartel and our president's part of it, all right, so his reasoning is to make the world better. I get it. But right now, it's not making the world better. It's destroying us in inflation. But that triangle, man, I kid you not, we are the worst. The United States, us, we are the worst of that cartel. We cut all of our supply back. It's terrible what's going on in crude. I just mentioned yesterday, I filled up my wife. I generally don't fill up the cars. My kids will go out and fill up my wife's car or even mine. Every now and then I get to fill up cars. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I had my wife's car out. Let's go fill it up. It was $97, I think, if I remember right, to fill up her car. Mine, it was in the 110, 120 area. Last time I filled up, it was in the $40 area. I went, what? Hold on, the pump's going to continue? It went past 40, 50, 60. I'm holding it 70, 80, 87, 90. I'm like, what is going on here? That's thank you to our cartel, and we're part of it. It's terrible. So you added me on Instagram. I don't know if it's up on the computer at the moment. It could be. I might be able to just pull it up. Insta, is it up? You can actually use it on your computer, but you can't really post much to it. Oh, not logged in. It's not going to happen right now. I'll look at it later. I'm not logged in and I'm online. I'm not going to start putting passwords in anything. We know what could happen to that. You think coming demand destruction is behind OPEC cuts? I don't understand your question, Jim. What do you mean by that? You think because demand looks like it's going to slow down, OPEC cut? It doesn't matter. OPEC only cut 2 million barrels a day. That's nothing compared to our cuts. We're the ones doing this, not them. We are horrible to the world. Right now, we are being so rude to this world. They're driving the prices of gas through the roof. We got tons of it here, tons of oil, tons of natural, tons. And we're not helping the world with it. It's just terrible. But hey, it is what it is. We trade. We're not politics. I'm not a politician. I can't fix any of that. Nothing I can do is going to open up a pipeline. So we trade instead. Feed our families, and they politic, we trade. Everybody does their job. But not cool to be starving the world of fuel when we have so much of it. Your fuel is expensive, Tom, because of us. I promise you, it's my fault. He's our president. It's my fault. It's your fault. It's everybody in the United States listening. It's our fault that your price is that high. And I'm sorry, Tom. It shouldn't be that high. I can't make my government fix it for you, but we all are on your side with this. We'd like to see you get fixed. Chris, you licking your wounds today? Should have followed OMNI. The bottom is in. Well, Scott, That may be, but we're raising rates right now, not lowering rates. And calling bottoms when they're raising rates was easy. Excuse me. Calling bottoms when they were lowering rates for the last 12 years was kind of easy. Calling bottoms while they're raising rates, it's not going to be as easy as you think. A utopic day doesn't change the course of what's going on here. We are in raise the rate mode. The market is in sell the rally mode. We had an up day. That doesn't really change everything. You need 20, 30 up days to start changing the picture here. Do I think inflation will come down? Absolutely, positively, absolutely, yes. Inflation will come down. Up days are opportunities to get short. I would like to be short this. But we've done a fantastic job today. I'm not selling anything because OMNI could be bullish by now. I don't know. Personally, I think I would like to be selling rallies, but I don't trade personally, so that's the end of that. When I trade without the OMNI, the odds of me winning aren't nearly as high. I mean, I've got my time and I'm good at what I do, but the OMNI's better than me. What do I reckon electric cars will do to fuel? Electric cars are going to destroy our electric grid. We are going to be Brazil-like with rolling blackouts all over this country because we've got a really old electric grid and there's no shot it could handle all the cars in this country on electric. No, it's going to wreak havoc on us. In fact, California already started to show it to us because they're more forceful in electric cars, and they're having rolling blackouts already. They got like 10%, 6% of their people on electric cars. They're having rolling blackouts. Natural gas would be great to run the power plants, and we almost get it for free when we shale. Guess what we're not allowed to do? Shale. This whole thing is so backwards. Well, what we need to do is push for hydrogen, which now that Elon Musk went electric, he's not going to go hydrogen. We need somebody to either do hydrogen or ion powered cars, right? Where it just takes the electricity in the air and powers the car. Or hydrogen, which is water, and we got plenty of that. And plenty of salt water on this planet. Those two would just solve everything. But right now, the money has to be spent to bring up those industries. Money's being made on the electric industry. So guess what's going to happen? They're going to go with the money being made, not spent. No, he's got his. I tell him every day I'm going to be online. He just doesn't understand. So S&P is going to threaten a new high again, isn't it? It's back to 76. I'll bet you it makes a new high. Hey, all we need is a pipeline from the ocean, which is one state away, to Vegas, and a saline plant, Dano. And that's it. You can fill up Lake Mead like that. So there's plenty of water here, and all this talk about global warming and the icebergs are falling in and creating higher oceans. Why not use it for driving? How fast you think we'll use up some of that stuff? %90 of our planet is salt water. Why are we not using that to power our planet? Yeah, well, yeah, you do get little trace amounts of lithium. That is true from the salt water, which is basically what they put in. Usually, when you know somebody that is, what's their condition? Manic depressive. It's usually salt or some lithium that helps them out. So yes, you do get a little lithium from salt water. Jim, we could take some of that Mississippi flood water. I'd appreciate that, thanks. Vegas loves you. If you want electricity 24 hours a day, you invest in 24-hour generators, which either take gas or electricity. And sorry, they don't want you using gas anymore, buddy. You're not allowed to put gas in your generator. In all honesty, the push on this planet should be hybrid cars, not electric. Everything should be gas, electric, you choose. Electric's cheaper, electric's better for the environment. When you need gas, use it. It's more expensive. Only when you need it, you use it. Well, Dano, you know what's cool about Lake Mead now? You ever go to a stream and you can step on rocks to go across the stream? Now you just step on skulls and you can walk right across Lake Mead. It's cool. You land on a body every now and then. Great way to cross the water. Dano was saying Lake Mead needs more water to cover up the bodies. That'll stop us from stepping on the skulls, Dano. You're ruining all our fun. Oh, it's going on 3, which is 12. I've got an appointment at... Sorry. Had to answer that. Is this a short covering rally? Oh, absolutely, positively. So why did lying eyes? Why did the market shoot up and take off today? Okay, so you know me, everything's technical. So technically, why did it take off today? Because every algorithm in the world watched the S&P get under the 200 ball moving average on the weekly and turn around and get back above it. And once it did, the buying frenzy kicked in. But as I said earlier, we are in raising rate mode, not lowering rate mode. When you lower rates, you hold the 200 ball moving average. When you're raising rates, do we hold it? We don't know. It's the first test since we started raising rates. We don't know what's supposed to happen here. But I do know this. If you're lowering rates and you hold this average, when you're raising rates, shouldn't you break it? I mean, logically, wouldn't that make sense? So that's where I'm at for now. We'll see what happens. I think we're going to break that. Not that logic is perfect by any means, but because for the last 10 years, every time we hit the 200, we held it while we lowered rates, I think the opposite's going to happen. Well, yes. S. Festiver in my chat room says, hey, the transports are making new highs. Will it lead the rest of the market up? Absolutely, positively, yes. It started a couple of days ago. You look at that chart 2 days ago. That tranny started going, and now we followed. Now, here's the thing. Do not think that you can always do that. It is just this week. Next week, something else will be leading. It just happens to be the tranny this week. That correlation jumps all over the place. Russell leads, it stops. S&P leads, it stops. Nasdaq leads, it stops. Tranny leads, it stops. It just keeps going in a circle. So don't think that, you just found a new rule. You have to watch and see what's going on each week. The Fed would get the same desired effect if they did nothing for the next few years. Josh, how long have you been alive now? That is an absolute incorrect statement. The only way we stave off a major disaster in this country is if the Fed reacts soon enough. Otherwise, major disasters happen. The Fed's job is to say, okay, looking at the signs we have in front of us, what's this look like 5 years down the road? And then they're supposed to react. So the stuff they're doing today is supposed to fix the future, not today. So no, I would think that's absolutely wrong. If the Fed did nothing, inflation would hit 20, 30%. We'd already be at a spot where nobody can afford a house, not even the people who own a house can afford to sell one and buy a new one. We were almost there already. They had to slow this thing down a little bit. You think Jerome has an IRA or a 401k that he needs to worry about? You know how much Jerome will get per speech in college once he gets out of this job? All the money in the world. He'll be worth more than anyone that you know right after he gets out of this job. Or Morgan will hire him, or Goldman, somebody will hire him for, $100 million or whatever he wants. Well, Lying Eyes, okay, let me read you. Lying Eyes is a post in the YouTube chat room. Lying Eyes says, won't inflation rise again once the Fed thinks inflation slows and they have hiked enough? Just the stopping of tightening could lower the dollar and raise commodities all over again. Lying Eyes, we are in a spot where if they stop raising rates, we're dead. We're in a spot where if the Fed stops raising rates, you will have a dollar that will go from 112 to 80 before you can blink your eyes. It's going to get really nasty for us. They kind of have to keep raising rates for now. What they should do is slowly go from 1 basis points down to 75s and hold that for a while, and then go down to 50s and hold that for a while, and then go down to quarters. Because if they stop now, there's no reason to buy our dollar. We will feel inflation more than any other country on the planet. You must realize our currency is so high that if inflation starts now for us, meaning if our currency starts dropping from up here, man, the price in stores would go up so fast. We'd be in big trouble. You'd be broke very quickly. So we don't, right now we're stuck. They got to keep raising rates till Europe gets in better shape and can raise rates with us, and then we can start backing off on raising rates. It won't be as dramatic. If no one's raising rates when we back off, we're dead. Or if worse, if Europe just starts raising rates when we stop raising ours, our dollar will tank twice as fast. So we are going to have a big dollar move to the downside at some point, but we're not there yet because the Fed's still telegraphing interest rate hikes. But, as far as not doing anything, if the Fed did nothing, that'd be financially suicidal to the United States. All right, so right before the Fed started raising rates, if you went to buy a house and it was listed for $700,000, there was somebody paying $1.2 million cash. You know what I'm saying? There were people just throwing money, which meant the average person can't afford a house anymore. Now the interest rates went up, completely knocking the average person out of affording a house. But the price of houses they're not coming down. They just stabilized. This isn't 2008. Nobody's going to panic out of their houses. See you later, buddy. Midterm rally from October to May the following year. 18-0 score. I know the Super Traders Almanac. I have it right behind me on my desk. Jeff Hirsch is fantastic, so that's a great stat. Is it a golden nugget? No, 18-0. Yeah, it's almost 2 golden nuggets. I think it's either right behind here or it's sitting upstairs in my other office. There we go. Well, let's just stop Joe's almanac. It's not his home. Super Traders is upstairs. Yeah, I buy that every year. I have been buying that every year since his father used to run it. Remember his dad? Do you know his dad, Scott? His dad was cool. And his mom. How do you understand the value of looking at a 1 hour chart over a 4 hour chart? You know what, lying eyes? Here's what I would tell you. Don't look at either of them. Look at a daily chart. You want to trade a daily range? Use a daily chart. You want to trade a 4 hour trade? Use a 4 hour chart. Have I? Yeah, I've been on YouTube since it started in 06, Jim. I have. And you know what I am? The worst advertiser in the world. Do you know why? I've been on YouTube since it started. Do you know how many people are watching us right now? Yeah, look. 53. If I was a 21-year-old kid that knew jack shit about these markets, there'd be 200,000 people tuned in right now. So, yes, I have been here since the beginning. I am better than anyone you'll ever find on YouTube as far as the markets are concerned. But I don't know nothing about gathering a crowd, obviously. Could use some help in that department, Jim, if you know how to send more people here. There should be a lot of people viewing on this right now because the information I share is, it's kind of high-level information. I'm no slouch, but I don't know how to make people show up. I don't spend any time trying either. I spend time working on markets. I don't spend my time trying to lure people to my site. I say it in my video, come join me at the site, and then I go back and I work. So that's probably got something to do with it. I don't try to advertise. We're about to make a new high in the S&P. You know that, right? Trading at 36.87, 36.84 and a quarter. The high is 36.87.75. It's going to go make a new high. Yeah, I don't know, Jim. I don't know what that secret is. I don't know what to tell you. I wish someone would help me get it right. If anyone knows how to influence my channel, would you please help me? I'd love to help people in a larger way. I'm actually building a company called Technotainment Streaming Media, which will allow me to broadcast all over the world, and I will be able to help people all over this planet. And lots of people will see the video. I don't have to send them to my YouTube channel, which is, if you spend your life sending people to your channel, you'll have a busy channel. But if I spend my life trying to send people to my channel, I'll lose track of the markets, and then what good am I? So I'm stuck in a loop. I'm more about markets than advertising. Well, thank you, Tom. Appreciate you. I have a live trading room. You see what you're seeing on YouTube. This is my traders who actually interact with me. And when they type, I can hear something. Look. You hear that sound? And I know you've said something. And I can pay attention. I don't spend my life staring at the YouTube chat room. So you guys type to me. I don't even know you're typing unless I keep it up. That kind of gets in the way of my screen real estate. You know what I mean? So if you join my site and come into my live trading room, we'll interact a lot more there. YouTube is what I hope will just bring people into my trading room. That is you. Daniel, are you still around? If you are, would you give them the link to the trading room? Oh, he said, "See you later, boss." He's gone. Let me give you this. It's free to join. No credit cards. No voodoo. I'm typing in caps so you guys can read it. If that's bothering you, I'll turn it off. To me, it's called shouting, and I can't stand looking at it, so I'm going to turn it off anyway. If you can't read the text, let me know. So we did make a new high just now, E-mini S&P 3690. Wow. It's going to go right back to the average in the channel. All right. What happens at the average in the channel, kids? What happens every time we get there? Even more so in Nasdaq. More pronounced here. Here. What happens at the average here is insane. But S&P's almost there already. Jim, we actually got out 8 points above the low this morning. 9 points above the low. S&P dropped at 35.02. We were bailing out at around 35.10, 11-ish. Thank you, OMNI. You're short at 88? All right, you know what? I can't tell. I wouldn't fault you at all, B19. A little bit worried about a short today as a scalp, only because it looks so strong, but I wouldn't fault you for that. Each day in the late afternoon, we've been coming off anyway, right? So sit tight, brother. See what you get. I know you got your stop in. I don't want to trade anything else today. I don't want to be the kiss of death after such a good win. So I'm going to have to go soon. I've got an appointment, which I can't shake. Sorry, some texts I can't avoid. I have to answer them. And I cannot stand doing this. I don't understand why people have to text each other, because what I can do on the phone with you in 30 seconds is 45 minutes of back and forth nonsense on a text. And then people text angrily and you read it wrong, and the next thing you know, you're arguing, and all you had to do was speak for 30 seconds. I don't understand this crap. It drives me insane. You know how many times I'll call somebody and I'll say, listen, you realize we've been texting each other for about 20 minutes, and if we speak, we could do this in 30 seconds. I'm not texting you anymore. Call me. Wow, I spelled the word indeed and had 4 typos in one word. There's only 6 letters. Hello. So is it Iori, IORI 666 from YouTube? 666 was the absolute low in the E-mini S&P on March 9th of 2009. Referring to your handle in the room. B19, so far so good, brother. I totally wouldn't fault you for holding on to this one this afternoon. So thank you for joining. Can't see what I'm typing here. It's too little. There you go. Let's see. You should have Dano show you the ropes. What trading school did I come from? The one that they call Hard Knocks, kid. I started on my 18th year, right after my 18th birthday, and basically went through the entire gamut of what to learn. But my biggest influences, I would say, were John Murphy and pure technical analysis. Yes, everybody else I worked with, Stottlemyre, the Turtles, Richard Dennis, I've literally worked with everybody. But the stuff that I got from John Murphy, still, he wrote the Bible of technical analysis. It's still the Bible 35, 40 years later. Just amazing. That book's sitting right there to my left. I must have read it 41 years ago. It's sitting right there with all kinds of notes in it from the day I read it. 10 times probably I read it. I actually, not only did I take the course, New York Institute of Finance, with John Murphy as my professor, I then did trade shows where he would be in the booth right next to me. And I had this big HP plotter, and I used to plot these beautiful charts for him and give them to him to sign and give out to people. So I made a really good flunky for him. Hi, Oscar. Want to be my flunky and print charts next door? Thanks, boss. Oh, I loved him to death. Now, here's an interesting thing. Since him and I met, we spent a long time together. He knows, I guess at the time he knew me, and I've excelled and become this guy I've become with analysis. I have not gotten him to respond to me in 25, 30 years. Not a single reply back. I know people who know him. Tell John, please call me. I've tried calling him. Nothing. But one day, on television, a few years back, somebody calls me up and says, Oscar, it is absolutely true what they say. The student has done a 360 and become the master. I said, what do you mean by that? They said, look at John Murphy's on TV today. Turn him on. I turned him on, and he had my chart that I sent out on the OMNI that night as his chart. And he was explaining the Deutschmark. It was a Deutschmark chart. He was explaining the Deutschmark to people, but he literally took my chart and just put his name on it and brought it on TV. Never mentioned it to me, and still hasn't spoken to me. Whatever that is, I don't know. But we got along real well when I was a student. Do I miss pit trading? So, yes, the camaraderie of hanging out with all those crazy people on the trading floor, and you go to work and you don't know what's going to happen by the end of the day. Are you going out to a friend? If you're going with a buddy who's going to buy a boat, are we going out for sushi? So I miss that stuff. And the exercise of screaming and yelling and getting the edge over somebody else in the pit, I miss that. You know what I don't miss? every one of those plain English pricks that would stick a knife in your back while they rubbed it. Good morning, Oscar. How's your daughter doing? Knife in the back, knife in the back, knife in the back. You know what I mean? I don't miss any of that. And there wasn't anyone up there you could trust. I brought people up there that were friends of mine since I was a child, literally diaper-sized child. Brought them up there, nurtured them, taught them everything I knew, set them free, and they would come back to try to come after me and my business because that's the trading floor. True stories. So that part of it I do not miss. I think I can trust every Omniac in this room and everybody in this YouTube trading room. I can trust you more than any of my friends I had on the trading floor. So that part of it I don't miss. I'm someone who I like to be able to trust people, and I like to lend trust and give trust. And you can trust me 1,000%, but not up there. You can't trust anybody. Hey, Tia. So what happens here is, in a little while, I take a break. I come back about 5 Eastern, and I start to do analysis again. Problem with me doing my analysis on streaming is I play music, and I crank the music. And if I do that on YouTube, they're going to... So I can't do my analysis on streaming. But if you join my chat room, I do my analysis in the chat room, live music, me sitting there doing my thing. You guys can interact with me. When I start playing music, I've got to get off of streaming because I like music when I trade, and YouTube doesn't like you playing music. Not unless it's music, and I'm not going to play that nonsense. Yeah, what a day is right. And the likelihood is, because of so many people got caught short, this will probably, sorry, be 19, not against you at all. This will probably make new highs all day. I mean, it's the type of bar that you put in that continues to just work all day. It doesn't mean tomorrow it'll go up again, but it certainly will likely go up all day today. Now, because of the nature of this beast, probably within the next 20, 30 minutes, you will swoon down enough for B19 to take your profits, but I think they're going to close them higher at the end of the day. Thank you, Charles. Appreciate you. Yeah, huge. When you talk reversal, look at this reversal bar. What have I done? Look at this reversal bar. I'll bring up S&P if it's not an S&P chart. No, Nasdaq's not as big, believe it or not. ES is bigger. Look at this outside reversal day in E-mini S&P. That is one of the biggest bars S&P puts in. In other words, this right here is like one of the biggest bars you'll get from S&P. I mean, that's a lot for one day, right? It's one of the biggest bars you'll ever see, ever. Look, that'll take us right to the channel. So, don't get so happy yet. It doesn't mean we're going anywhere. But what a daily bar today, huh? Look at this thing. Man, it will probably go right up to that black before whatever is in this move ends tonight, tomorrow, whatever. Let's get rid of you so we can see the chat room. Oh, we got some lunatic posting nonsense. Hide user, please. And that's not allowed to even be seen as far as I'm concerned. Let's get that off my screen. Ranzi. All right, so 36.97. Let me think about these levels. Hold on. 37.02. 37.02 means something. I promise you. I see it too often. So we have 37.02 on the way down. Where did we have trouble? Small 37.14ish, but not too crazy there. 37.24, 27. Then we go into the 3750s. All right, so those are the areas we had trouble on the way down, if I remember properly. So first level of trouble should come in around 3702. When it comes to a chart, I do, but not in everything in life. But when it comes to a chart, yes, I can kind of close my eyes and picture it. So for years, I kid you not, people would go, Oscar, where was the S&P in 1988? And I'll go, 1988, 375, 400. And they'll pull up the chart and go, damn, you were right on the money. I don't know how I do that. You know what I mean? That I can't control, but it happens. 3730, yeah, that makes sense. 3727, 3737, somewhere up there. Well, no, you know what? Now that you mention it, I remember 3727 being a spot. So exactly where was the S&P in 87? Let's go find out now that I said that. Did I say 87? What year did I say that happened in? Because I closed my eyes and pictured it. We'll go back and see. What year is this? Still 98. I gotta go 10 more years back. This is ESZ. And we're gonna go with 30 years. And go weekly. Why you only let me go back to 97? Huh, only back to 97. Why is it stopping me? Alright, so we're not going to get back to 90. It probably was somewhere in the 300-400 area because we're only in the 800s S&P in 1998. So I think I'm right about that. So bonds falling means interest rates up. Interest rates up puts pressure on stock market. Stock market and bonds dropping together does make sense. Absolutely, Charles. Crude oil inventory is bad. Does it make a difference? Our president doesn't want crude to flow. Does it really matter what we have more of it than almost anyone else? So does it really matter what the rest of the world, what their stats are? Even if ours are good, we're not allowed to sell it. So I don't think it matters anymore. Ain't gonna help the world no matter what the inventories are. So B19, when we get us swooned down into the 3670s, you should take your profit. 3677, maybe you'll get 67, I don't know. The S&P topped in 87 at 338. Wow, I was right on the money, wasn't I, Chris? How about that for something I am totally broken, no? I can't tell you what I had for dinner last night, but I was able to tell you where the S&P was 20 some odd years ago. I mean, that's not a broken person. Well, we export oil, that is correct, but nowhere near the potential we have to export oil. And now we've also stopped what was the quick pipelines to get oil to refineries that could quickly refine it to gas and get it out to people. So it's all screwed up right now, Jim. All it would take is a pen to fix this whole mess. Now, I'm not saying infrastructure fixes itself overnight, but all you need is chatter from our president that he's going to let oil flow and oil will be $40 before you can blink. All right, 314, 316. Well, you know what? They can't be priced in if they're going to continue them. The ones that have been done. All right, so Ramsey, what happens is you make an interest rate hike, the market has to adjust. Once it adjusts, it's finished adjusting and it can go on its way. You do another hike, it's got to adjust. So was today the whole adjustment? Certainly was enough movement to be the whole adjustment. But next rate rise, we're going to have to adjust again. That's just what happens. The market has to adjust. If you change a variable that creates the price of a market, it has to adjust to the new variable. It has to. So raising rates changes a variable in the price of a stock, and that has to be reflected somewhere. So no, I don't think all interest rate hikes are priced in. I think the ones they do get priced in and the market starts trying to fix itself till the next rate hike happens, which is what we've been seeing with these in-between rate hike rallies. Which just tells you I'm right. If the Fed ever says they're not going to raise rates, this market will go up faster than the Trump rally took place. That was one of the fastest things we ever seen. So the idea of raising rates will tame inflation. How? Perfect example. 2 doors over from my property, a house is up for sale. It's not all that expensive. It's $515. I could probably get it for $500. A year ago, if I would have bought that house, I would have been able to put a few bucks down on it, 10, 15%, rent it out to somebody, and the rent would have covered the mortgage. Right now, that same house, I went to go buy it, and I called my banker and said, look, I don't want to buy it outright cash. I'm not doing that. It's not the right time to be buying property like that. I only want to put down like 10%. We'll mortgage the rest. Will the mortgage match the rent in the neighborhood? He looks at it, comes back to me, goes, Oscar, for you to match the rent in the neighborhood, which is $3,000 a month, you've got to put down $257,000 on a $500,000 house, which means you got to put more than 50% down on the house in order to get the mortgage cheap enough for rent. So that tells you we reached the pinnacle and rates had to be raised. So already rates where they are stopped me from going to buy that house, which nothing usually stops me from buying a house, but I have no use for it. I'm not going to use it for an OMNI personal use. I'm not going to put one of my kids in it, which means it's got to collect rent to pay its own mortgage. And right now, unless you put down almost 50% on a house, if you're planning on renting it, it'll never cover the mortgage. Now, if you're going to move into the home, it doesn't matter, right? You pay what you're going to pay to live there. But I'm not moving in. First house that I actually walked away from in the last, I can't remember how long. So things are changing. Made a guy like me go, nah, that's not going to happen. So yes, it will tame inflation. It's starting already. It just takes time. So if you want to know why inflation hasn't come down, the Fed's been raising rates. Oscar, why hasn't inflation come down? Answer if you've ever seen a pristine type lake, a clear, no waves, crystal quiet lake. Has anyone ever seen one? A nice quiet body of water? Has anyone ever seen a nice quiet body of water? Well, if you have, picture that pristine lake. Beautiful. Take a boulder, drop it in that lake. You know what will happen? it'll make a wake around the boulder and it'll slowly work its way to the shore. In the middle of the lake, there was a splash. You're gonna finally get a wave to hit the shoreline later on down the road. When the Fed starts raising or lowering rates, it's like dropping a stone in a pristine lake. You've got to wait for the wake to reach the shore to see the difference. The wake hasn't reached the shore yet, but it sure is on its way. Ripple effect. Thank you, Skylar. You are absolutely correct. Time check, 321. B19, you should be getting your moment soon. Because usually if it's going to be a strong close, they do some kind of weird pull down before they start balancing books for the end of the day. What's the timeline to see the effect on point? So from what I've noticed in my life, once you're between 8 months and a year away, you start to slowly see the effects. Within a year and a half to 2 years, things have changed. You know what I mean? There's actually been a change that's taken place. Within 5 years, we won't even remember inflation. But it takes a little time. So they started raising rates in March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 6 months. Now it's beginning, middle of October. So we're almost at the spot where you should start to see something. Oh, well, soon the reports are going to come out and show that inflation is actually backing off a little. Because now we're hitting that 8-month mark. By the time you get to like a year and a half, I promise you, we'll start to see it. Because they have aggressively raised rates too. They didn't do quarter basis points, so it should matter. It will matter. Yes. Well, so Charles asks, any of the kids following daddy's path to become a top trader? All my kids are good at analysis. Natalie seems to practice it more than the other two, so she's even better at it. But I don't see any of them doing it for more than just for themselves, for whatever you want to call it, side money, whatever. However, there are times when the kids grow up a little bit and realize the best money that I could possibly make is taking over the reins of dad's company and not going out and trying it the hard way, working for other people. But I think what you need them to try it first and then circle the wagons afterwards. So, I have a feeling a few years from now they'll come circling back. We'll see. But first you got to let them go, I don't want to do what dad does and go out and get paid crap money and realize, you know what? If I had my own business, I could make more. Well, wait a minute. Dad already started one. This would make it second generation. Maybe I should join him. I'm hoping one of them see the light one day. Now, if you try to force your kids to do what you do, they hate that and they rebel. So I've never done that, but I've forced them to learn what it is that I do so that they can do the Omni for themselves. And, during Omni camps, they instruct and they're very good at what they do. They can stand in the room with me and help people as they're learning the techniques. So it's become interesting. The kids are good. All right. I don't know how much longer I want to stay here, kids. I literally stayed up till 7 in the morning, fell asleep between 7 and 8:10, and then got up at 8:10 to make sure I didn't miss the 8:30 numbers. I'm a little bit, you know what I mean? It's been a long week. Yo. Oh, you're streaming YouTube in your Tesla on the way home? How cool is that? So you're watching me speak to you on the phone in your car. I love it. I'll have to look, and then if there's a question, we just pull times and sales and see what it did that day, and we could figure it out either way. We had a big month last month. Sure did. I know. Omni went nuts right at the end of the month, and boy, you know, today you made over 5,000 per one lot if you were in the large S&P today. That was a good day. Yeah, last week I think the Omni pulled in about 10 G's on one lot trades. Let me go over it first, and then of course, once I go over it, and you know everybody agrees that those are the totals for the month, I'll let them out. All right. So remind me after I'm done with the streaming, or after I finish my analysis, we'll take a look at it. Go enjoy yourself, brother. We can always do it tomorrow. All right, enjoy your game, man. I would think so. Yeah, I didn't do one last night. Did I? I did do one last night. Yeah, I guess, but everything went crazy today. So you know me. I look at the charts and then I decide to do a video. You know something's going to come out of my brain when I look at these charts. All right, brother. Let me fly, and you enjoy your game, man. All right. Thank you. Bye. So TR, you'd be surprised what happens at OmniCamp. You have no idea. So do you know the analysis I show you in these videos? The analysis I show to you on YouTube? The analysis I do in these live YouTube events? The analysis I do live for Metastock? Anything I do standing in front of a crowd? Do you realize I show them technical analysis 101, baby food stuff that I could do laying on my cot, sleeping with milk and cookies? I kid you not. I mean, the stuff I show you is baby food. You have no idea what happens at OmniCamp. Your head would spin. That's where I teach you the goods. What I show in YouTube is enough to make people recognize what should happen next. What I teach at OmniCamp is for you to figure out exactly what's going to happen next and take advantage of it. Big difference. But yeah, it's interesting when people say, Oscar, you know that brand of analysis that you do, it's kind of, and I go, stop, you have no idea, man. That's just what I'm showing to the crowd of public. I would never show my Omni to a public crowd, you know what I mean? Come on now, when you got something that works, you don't share it with the public. So instead of me mass producing it and putting it on disk or putting it on the cloud or making it downloadable, I would never sell my Omni to anybody. I let 4 people at a time come to my office 4 times a year, and that is the only chance you get to learn the Omni. I do actually have open seats for this OmniCamp. I've only approved 3 people. I still have an open seat. Maybe I'll be nice and take 5, but usually 4 is what I'll take in. So if you had any interest at all in joining me for 5 nights, 4 days, I can give you a link to fill out an application. There's my boot camp. No guarantee I would approve you, but you can try and see what happens. Gold long-term chart looks like a cup and handle. You want to see what looks like a cup? Check this out. An odd market to form one, but check this guy out. I might be able to pull it right here. Right. There it is. Check this out. Look at that cup. Let's get rid of this crazy average because it doesn't mean anything. That has to be a cup, right? I mean, it looks pretty cuppy to me. Let's see, do I have something? I don't know, kids. I think that's a cup in wheat. So when you mentioned cup and handle, first thing that came to my mind was that. That looks like a cup. I don't know if it'll build a handle, but it sure does look like a cup. Look at how well lately wheat has been working with technical analysis. Check this out. Starts off exactly like it's supposed to with some weird head and shoulders, right? And then it just dumps. So you got a head and shoulders right here, perfect crack down into some sort of a possible cup and handle. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I like when charts start doing stuff like that. Anyway, we'll see what this is eventually. Just thought I'd bring it up, being that you mentioned it. Here's the app. I never actually gave it to you, did I? All right, B19, where are you, buddy? We talked a little while ago. It should break down to 36, 77, 67 right there, and then go up for new highs. So we just came back to 75, 77. E-mini S&P. How's Tesla looking? Well, today it might have changed, but sure looks terrible. B19 isn't in the room. What happened to him? All right. Tesla, not that nice of a chart. Well, you do got this. Check this out. You do have that. So that's the first thing I think of Tesla. Look at that. Boof, boof. and a nice bounce outside reversal bar day. So of course. Mm-hmm. Let's look at this. Come on now. Here's red, man. Sent B19 an email. I wanted him to realize that the market dropped into the spot we were hoping he could take his profits at. I'm not telling him what to do. I just wanted him to look. Just answering some emails because this is live with Oscar, you know. I have to live. Enough of that. And we are at 36.77, 76, coming into the end of the day. So what happens now is order flow. Now we'll see if they need to cover shorts or possibly flatten out longs to stay delta neutral for the evening. Let's go see what this thing's been doing. Give us a video tonight, Steve. Silver Miner says, I'll do my best. What normally happens is I sit and do my analysis at 5 p.m. Eastern, and if I see a video, my video comes out. If I don't see a video, that means the video I did the night before covers tonight. But I don't think that's going to be the case, being that last night's video we sold the rally and made some money doing it. So yeah, I'm sure I'll do a video tonight. Gotta let it close though, right? Because what if it drops 30, 40 points and closes inside? So, can't really do anything about it yet. Don't know where it's gonna close. Alright, I think I've had my moment. Being that it's so volatile today, B, I figured sometimes people aren't watching, so just wanted to shoot that out to you. On a normal day, you wouldn't hear from me. I don't know what that means. It says whisper. I don't know what that means. Alright, I think I've had enough. think I've seen enough today. I am going to have a sandwich and get ready for tonight's analysis. Traders, thank you for tuning in. Great time here with you. Love the questions out of YouTube today. The chat room got more active, so good job today, guys. And remember, stops are in. Where do those emotions go? Emotions are out. Don't forget that, kids. All right, I will see you later. I will be back at about 5, which isn't very long from now, for the night shift.